You,
On the way home.
Yeah.
He wants to chat, yeah.
Just pull him over on the way home, chief. Talk to him now.
He doesn't know how to turn the sides.
You just brought me in the next week.
Well, because of, yes, all right.
Okay. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Butler. Here. Commissioner Clausen.
Here.
Commissioner Cox.
Here.
Commissioner Phipps.
Here.
Mayor Hall.
Here. Consent agenda. Items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. No separate discussions of these items will occur unless a council member requests the item to be removed from the consent agenda. If an item is removed from the consent agenda, it will be considered elsewhere on the agenda for this meeting. Prior to asking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, the mayor will ask if anyone desires to remove an item from the consent agenda for public discussion. Would anybody like to remove an item? Hearing none. I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June the 17th, 2025, and bills and payroll for the last half of June 2025. Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Mr. Cox. Roll call.
Commissioner Butler. Yes. Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Presentations, petitions, and communications. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for persons who desire to address the council. The Illinois Open Meetings Act mandates that the city council may not take action on comments received on matters that have not been identified on this agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic to refer the matter for action on the agenda of another meeting. Persons addressing the council are requested to limit their presentations to 3 minutes and to avoid repetitious comments. We would also ask you state your name and address for the record, as well as stand when speaking. Would anybody like to address the council? Anybody in the audience? Okay, yes, sir. Come right up. You need your name and address.
Good evening. My name is David Marshall. I live out at 3597 East 900 North Road out on Lake Mattoon.
Okay.
Figured this is probably what I would call to discuss a safety concern I have. Go back 2 Sundays ago regarding these wake boats. I don't know if you've run this stuff before, or the wake boats or surf boats. They're usually out on the lake. My wife and I and my grandson were out there late Sunday afternoon, and we were sitting along the beach. My boat was pulled up through the just a dead boat. And I noticed a wake boat was coming across, fully balanced out. I'm a seasoned boater, so I kind of understand. I can see what's happening with that. And it was fully balanced out, but no one was behind it, enjoying what they're used for. And a fully balanced boat puts about, I don't know, 2,000 to 4,000 pounds of weight in the back of the boat, which they do the ballast on. I noticed that as soon as probably 60 feet offshore, my wife was sitting there, my grandson playing in the sand. I immediately told her to get out of the way of the boat. And I grabbed my grandson, he took him to me, that was coming in, lifted the back in my boat and threw it up on the sand. So luckily I saw it, but it could have been a catastrophe if I wasn't paying attention, or, or I didn't understand what that weight was going to do to the back end of the boat. So I'm here just tonight to say, there's something we need to look at on how people are using these boats and the purpose of them on that lake. And I want to prevent it from happening to someone. So it's just a safety concern that I thought I'd bring up tonight. And if you guys can just put that in your docket and address it later.
Kyle,
yeah, as I said, the last meeting, I think we had a couple gentlemen here that had concerns about the wake boats and stuff and erosion. So we are looking into it. We've seen stuff from.
I mean, it's just something to see, and it's concern. I don't want anyone to get hurt, It's all we need is something to happen bad again on the lake. So
Yeah. So
I appreciate you guys, and I wish you guys a great second board. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Appreciate it.
Okay, anybody else like to address the council? Anybody online? Just asking.
Just I think there may be a couple people here on the special use, which I don't know if they want to talk at the time of the special use for the mobile home park.
Does anybody want to talk now about anybody want to make any statements about the mobile home park special use?
It's motion 3, Mayor. So
Yeah. Okay, we can wait till we get to that item, and I'll give you a chance to do it if you want to wait till we get to that item. But there's no other topics to discuss, I guess. So, okay, well, go ahead then with new business.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1966, granting a special use for a Tier 2 short-term rental located at 201 Moultrie Avenue. Petitioners Todd and Kimberly Fuller, 06-0-02808-000.
Could I have a second to that motion?
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps, and any comments on that property?
Yeah, they're applying for a short-term rental, no objectors, passed unanimously through the planning and zoning commission. So, again, staff's not ever going to say a positive or negative recommendation on these special uses specifically for the short-term rentals, but those are the facts. There were objectors and passed unanimously.
Okay.
I will just add that this was a church. I don't know if they ever had a really big congregation or not, but it is suited well. It has an apartment kind of in the back, so it had a kitchen and everything in it. And he's just going to make that more of for maybe sports teams, 2 or 3 families coming in and staying together.
All right. All right.
And that is under tier 2.
Yep.
Hearing no other comment right now, we'll go ahead and take roll call.
Commissioner Clausen.
yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1967, granting a special use for a digital display sign located at 4112 Lakeland Boulevard, 07-1-01425-000. Petitioner Richard Rhodes of Dusty's Outdoor Media.
Okay, second to that motion.
Second.
Erica Butler, let's see. Any comments anybody has?
Again, passed unanimously through the planning and zoning commission. Let's go out there and additional billboard that seems like it's going to be a welcome addition.
Okay. And it's approximately, it's on South 45, almost on the McDonald side, almost that far down, right?
Yeah, the Elmo
Right.
place, which was Roy Smith's before that, and before that was
Okay.
a tire
All right.
shop.
Any other comments?
Starbucks.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1968, granting a special use for a mobile home park located at 805 North 8th Street and 808 Payette Avenue with the condition that parcel numbers 07-1-02132-000 and 07-1-02135-000 shall require a separate application special use for a mobile home park prior to the placement of mobile homes on those lots. Petitioner Frederick Family Homes, 07-1-02132-000, 07-1-02135-000, and 07-1-02130-000.
Good job.
Thank you.
Second to that motion,
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Clausen, and let's have some comments that we have. Yeah.
Yeah, so this did pass unanimously through the planning and zoning commission. They had a unanimous recommendation for approval with conditions. There were objectors present. They also had a petition, which all the council members here should have, opposing the development. And so during that meeting, there was a conversation. And it seemed like they did come to some semblance of a compromise, which is what the planning and zoning commission agreed to. Effectively, there's 3 lots, and then they were saying that you placed one that's in the existing mobile home park, and include the other two parcels in the park, but they were saying that Matt would have to come back to get that approval to place two more in the future. That said, I talked with Matt a little bit since that meeting. It seems like he had an alternate proposal. You're more than welcome to take time right now to talk about it if you'd like. We've also shared an image of that. Great. So, yeah.
Hi, Frederick. What I'm asking for is, essentially, the issue was, the contention was, I understand it, they didn't want mobile homes to buy it. And that's fine. I understand that. And so what I'm asking for is permission to go ahead and just, we're going to eliminate the third one. There's no way to do that inside the park, but add a second one and actually move it further to the north and have the entrance front of the park. There's some screening if that was to happen down the road, and then you won't see it from behind anyway. I think you've also got a copy of a letter from property owner and appraiser, master appraiser, that he has no objection to it. He feels like it'd be an enhancement. And furthermore, I did speak with some of the neighbors I could catch. And I have here 801 Hyatt and 805 Hyatt. Both neighbors are okay with this revised plan. And I would point out that with these two, with Mr. Becker on the corner, myself, that's 4 of the 7 lots, and actually mine's like 3 lots, so that's considerably more than 51% of the blocks fine with this. And again, I think you have the revised map in front of you, staff permission for that. And the reason being, we're going to develop those. It's about the same amount of money to run sewer and water to one as this too, and so I don't want to have to do it twice. I think it'll be an enhancement. I do these homes are about $115,000 a piece. Pitch, asphalt, roast, vinyl, siding, and they're nice homes. It's also a 55 over park by state law. It's a state permit I have. So, it's a retirement community essentially. And we did tear down house that in Burke. The lady had unfortunately no insurance, and that would probably still be sitting there. But I didn't want to borrow swing back my neighborhood looks down there. Thank you.
Okay. I want to see if I understand this, because I've heard a couple of things about this motion. Is there only one mobile home that's going to be placed, or two?
I'm asking for 2.
Okay, is this property written for two?
This ordinance is written for the one that the planning commission recommended.
Only the one. So you're asking a modification of this in order to do two. Okay. So in order to do that, someone would have to ask for that to be done on the council.
Correct.
Is anybody asking for this to be changed? Right now it says one. Is anybody asking for it to be changed?
Yeah, but I want to make sure I understand it as well. Okay, so it would be 2 at those same addresses.
Yeah, same addresses. One is kind of stationed going east and west behind the 2-car garage that's on the property, if anyone went out and looked at it. And then the second one, I believe, would be on the east side of the property running north and south, but the drive would go to the trailer park instead of originally when he had 3 designed, 2 of them were going to come in off of Payette. So this way he's changed the design so that 2 of them and both drives would go towards the trailer park.
So actually,
The new design has not gone through planning commission,
Correct.
and based out of the planning commission, coming out of the planning commission, there was an agreement by, my understanding is the commission, Matt, and the protesters
Petitioner.
for just one.
That was what the planning commission recommended, yes.
so again, this would have to be modified to go to this one. So,
No, it has to be modified to go to more than one.
okay. All right.
Right.
So this is the way the planning commission wanted it.
Correct.
Okay.
And Matt is now saying there will be no third. So we could approve 1 tonight. The second one, if I understand it, will go to the planning commission
If they want,
as this motion reads.
So again, I think it would be important again to have a public comment section for this before amendment is suggested. But outside of that, I mean, it is within council's purview to make that amendment tonight to
Right.
the other two.
Right.
It's within your purview to just grant it as it's currently written and only have the one. It really depends on how council feels.
Okay.
So I do have a question about you talked about putting up like a vegetative privacy screen. What were you thinking there and how long do you anticipate before it would actually provide privacy to those individuals who are concerned about looking at the back of a mobile home?
Those trees grow pretty quickly, and we're not gonna plant little baby trees. I believe they're about 4 foot tall when they go in. They reach about 12 foot tall. It also helps me out because it kind of gives me out back. Yeah, and the reason, after considering what the planning commission said, and I do understand the concern of being off of Payette. So, when speaking with some of the people that have expressed interest in bringing these new pumps in, they don't want to be on Payette either. We said, if it doesn't enter through the park, it's not based to the park, we're doing it, bring it on. So I revamped it. I did speak with the planning commission about possibly changing this. And they said, that's completely within the purview of the councils. And I said, just been asked. That's what I'm doing, just ask. Again, to not have to go through the planning commission. So when I'm developing the one water line, sewer line, it's very, very easy to just develop 2 water lines, 2 sewer lines, and run electric, have a chip, it's a once, twice, obviously come before you twice. And I think it accomplishes the overall goal of not having to on my head, but also allow affordable housing, which is important.
I'm curious, why not build 2 houses there?
Well, you and I both know that neighborhood, unfortunately, they just don't. I could build a $200,000 house there and I could sell it for maybe half of that. Fortunately, that the cost of building materials, the effort to build, it doesn't. It was a different neighborhood in my.
And you did talk to some of the surrounding neighbors.
Yeah, I've talked to 3 that are in support of it, plus myself would be a 4th, obviously, and be on 2 of the parcels. So 5 of the 8 would be, they overwhelming majority would be favored. 2 of them directly across the street, they were fine. They love it. It provides stability for the neighborhood. It is actually probably the nicest thing in that area in any direction. But, we constantly try to improve it as we go in the last period. I think we've done a good job of that.
Is the garage staying that's there currently?
Yes.
It'll stay?
Completely renovate the garage. Again, it's just a dollars and cents thing. Since the tear out garage, it really just has superficial damage from the fire. So, we actually have a contract with siding company. July 17th, but all new gray siding on it, make it look really nice, and new doors, and just like our maintenance building, it's kind of adjacent into the park area. It looked very nice.
Does the council have any other questions? I want to
No, the feedback I've been getting from the planning commission is that they would like to stick with the 1. And then the other 2 come back as was originally agreed upon last week. That's just the feedback I've been getting.
No. Did you take a poll of the council?
I talked to 3 of the planning commission members.
Does anybody in the audience have any comments about, yes, ma'am, come up here.
My name is Yvonne Johnston, 809 Payette. I live across the street from the house at Burns. My thing is, I own 2 lots. My neighbors own 2 lots. We both are on petition. The gentleman that lives at age 20 Payette is also on the petition, so you got 5 to 5. So it's not a majority. My thing is, they do look nice. But do I want to look out my picture window and see the back of the trailer, the front of the trailer? Which I really don't. And that's where I'm coming from. He gave me tonight the new thing with the, the bushes. I'd like to see the bushes go up before it, you know, goes back to the zoning commission to be approved to put another one in. So that we know what we're receiving. And that's, you know, where I'm coming from.
But potentially the bushes, clarify this for me, potentially the bushes, if they look good, you would be okay with two trailers?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Because if I did like this, like I said, this is going to be directly across
right,
my picture.
right, okay.
So, you know, every time you know, look outside, what do you see? We've lived there for almost 36 years. And, you know, I didn't buy the house thinking I was going to have a trailer court in my front yard.
Right.
You know, even if it is, you know, they enter from across the street or from the trailer.
Is that currently what your view is, since the house has been torn down?
Yes, you see, they're quite a ways back. You know, so it's not like it's right there, or these are going to be closer. The one that's, you know, going to be behind the garage, that's no problem. It's if anything that's on
Just directly
the
in front of
A.
yours?
Yeah, that's where I was coming from.
But like a greenery screen to where you're not directly looking at it, you would be okay with something that's more aesthetically pleasing?
Yeah, it would be more, not optimal, but what are you going to, you know?
Yeah.
There has to be a compromise somewhere. That's where I'm coming.
If you prefer privacy, then so be happy to do privacy.
Hopefully.
They have no ladies.
But, yeah,
So it sounds like there've been some good discussions and compromise back and forth between neighbors, right? So that's a positive. That's a good thing. So
Matt, do you know how far off that trailer would be? The setback of the fence, if you did put a fence?
If we were allowed to put the bed barrier along the sidewalk, which I assume we would, I'd put it back a little bit so it didn't overgrow the sidewalk, obviously. But the back of this home would be approximately 50 feet from the sidewalk. I mean, it's a considerable ways.
So you could do a privacy fence at the front of the adjacent houses
Oh,
in
absolutely.
line with the front.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I could.
Okay.
You're talking 50 feet of the second trailer?
The second, yeah, so the,
Because on
live here, Mr. Phipps,
on the diagram, it shows a lot closer than that
no,
to Paya.
yeah, they're not, you know, I'm not a scale there.
Yeah.
If you look here, is the house about even with the house down the street there, so. And I think it'll be further up in that, just enough to park. But I would certainly not crowd it.
Yeah.
Because I want to have a nice yard, and if they're willing to bring in $115,000, want to have a nice yard. And then my hope, the corner house is in pretty bad shape. I think everybody would agree with that. And I hope that the biggest, and I would, and I would hope that will continue that vegetative barrier, maybe a couple more into the park from there. It's the interest of, well, that's another discussion, but trying to just fix that little block up to keep our living room.
Fencing could be put up prior to the mobile homes going in too, so that they would already have that privacy.
Absolutely. We'd be happy to do that.
So is there something on the calendar wise that you have to go back to the planning commission and then it's going to delay things by a month or more? I
The
wouldn't.
bigger issue is, I mean, do I take the gamble to pay the contractors to the sewer and the water lines? It's the big expense, and the electric ones, because Ameren requires that we build these, they don't allow like individual meters like that. You have to have them in grouped sections. So they have to decide now, this section is going to be a grouping of, you know, I'm going to obviously feed the garage power off this thing too, because it has to be for the next thing. So is it going to be a grouping for one home in the garage or two homes in the garage? And it really changes a lot. Electrically, we're talking a whole lot more amps service wise. So I either take the gamble and fill it ahead of time, hoping that you guys can grant it later, or ask for it tonight. That's what I'm about to do. Just from a development standpoint, it makes a lot more sense than to have it. Dig it, do the sewer, get through the water, and do the electric. If you're asking me if I'm paying for it, second, I get off the first time I do. But I fully anticipate at the spot, but it would go quickly. We have an incredible demand. In fact, I've got sales study. The average time on market in that park is 4 days. And we recently, they're all privately owned. We don't own them. Recently, 2 sold last week. They were on market less than 1 day. One of them was 1 day. And they're not selling for peanuts either. I mean, one sold for $45,000 in 1986. So there's a huge demand in that park. I don't know right now. You can drive through it. It's incredibly nice. Big Rose stage film, because it was the nicest one in the state this last year. Stage spectacle.
I think several council members have driven through there recently. I did, and Jim did. You guys have. Okay, so everybody's been through there.
My mom lives there, so.
You know, so you've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they are kept well, and they do look nice. Even the older ones, they're still taken care of. The one question that I would ask you, Matt, is if you had to delay this and go through the planning commission again to get this to 2 rather than 1, because you're trying to put the electricity, plumbing, and everything at the same time, does delaying this for 2 or 3 months impact you?
It would certainly impact me because
You got some,
I need to get the first one in. So I have to get that site ready for one that the council we all agree to.
okay.
So again, it's just a straight development thing. And the other side of it is, you know, it isn't free to come back in front of the council office. It's about $500. It's nothing but half a paper.
Ma'am, I got a question for you is, if Matt put the shrubbery in right away, I'm trying to get a compromise here. If he put it in right away, would you be okay with putting in 2, not going to 3, but going to 2?
Yeah, we want it.
You what?
Yeah, well, if you construct, the vegetation barrier where we see, greenery. I mean, it doesn't have to be, on the west lot, just the one where the trailer's going to be sitting.
Yeah.
If it's there, I would be okay with that. And I'm sure that Prices and Mr. McStewer would be okay with that also.
So again, okay, to do now what we think we got in front of us, we do need to modify this.
You need to make an amendment.
Make an amendment, right?
Make a motion to amend.
So,
And if you second.
Yeah.
right.
Then you can go.
So,
I would make a motion to amend, help me out with the wording here, to,
The ordinance to allow 2 mobile home sites.
correct,
Are we
yeah.
just striking on person numbers from the additions?
Be the third one, wouldn't it?
we don't know which is which probably.
Yeah, and they're weird because the one runs all the way through. So I would just make an amendment to allow 2 mobile home sites that enter in from the mobile home park.
Right.
With the vegetative.
With a vegetation barrier on the high end
Contingent
side.
on,
Is beaten with that description.
Right. Yeah, and that would be done before. We need to actually make that part of it.
Yeah,
We've got-
vegetation
yeah,
installed before.
Let's put it in record.
Put it in there?
Let's put it in record.
Okay, so that hedge would be in there before any new house would be put in there. Okay,
Would the south side of that second trailer be kind of their backyard then? Between the vegetation trailer?
Yeah, I mean,
Since you're gonna put it at least 50 feet off?
yeah, that'd be, they'll have a side yard too. I assume they're gonna put a drive all the way down the side of it, have a park for like.
Yeah.
Again, this is a old 55 park. So
Yeah.
That there's not a lot of yard, water to need it.
They don't want
That
that.
they build on. Yeah, so the parcel number 07 -102-132 is the one that would be allowed then, the second.
That'd be the second one?
Yes.
So you could just remove that existing.
Correct.
So just read the condition that person number 2135 showed by the separate applications that could. And yeah,
So 2132 would be the one that would allow 2 homes.
Would allow the second home.
Second home. Yeah.
Okay.
with the vegetative screening.
Okay. So we have a,
Subject to the vegetative screening being in
all right,
first.
subject to those things.
Yeah.
Subject to the screening of the hedge. Right. Okay. You made the motion. We need a second on that motion, on the amendment.
Second.
Okay. Then any other discussion on this? Okay, so now, okay.
More of a comment than a discussion. One, I want to just kudos to all of you, one for being here and caring, but I appreciate the dialogue back and forth and the willingness to work together. We have a shortage of housing in Mattoon. We've talked about that for some time. Housing's needed. I think this could be an improvement for the area and housing in Mattoon. So I just like the way you guys have worked together and communicated. That's very important and great. So
Okay.
kudos.
All right, now, okay, go ahead.
I'll reiterate that. Mine was a hard no coming in for anything but just one because of the petition and the feedback from the commission. But the compromise is fantastic. So nice work.
Okay, so now we need a.
Can I ask a question?
Who is it?
This is Ed from the Planning Commission. Can I ask a question before you approve it? So, Matt, will the third one still be in play? You guys didn't mention that in the Planning Commission, in the new amendment.
He said no.
He said no.
Okay. All right. Now, we're ready to vote. No other comments? We got what we want so far. So now let's take a roll call on the
This is
amendment.
on the amendment.
On the amendment.
Okay. Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Now
Now the amendment.
vote on the motion as amended.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we got a new motion and we're going to vote on that. So can I have a second to that?
We have a second on that.
Oh, we do? On
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we just ready to vote.
Need
All
another.
right, roll call.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Commission.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1969, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and Washington Savings Bank Trust 5136, reimbursing up to $42,165 from Midtown TIF revenues over a one-year period for roof replacement and repairs to the building located at 1400 Broadway Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement. Parcel number 07-1-03844-000.
Can I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Butler and any comments?
This is just a roof repair on the building there at 1400. We had actually approved a very similar tip from the previous owner. He ended up not doing the work, sold it. So the new owners come in and actually are using the same contractor. So, and the same bid.
You've been down there looking at this, right?
I haven't, but Steve has been down
You
there.
have one of the inspectors. Okay.
So is this eventually going the entire block? Because I noticed we have like 3 on there.
Yes, yes, it's
So there'll
gonna
be
be
three-
1400 and 140.
Yeah. That whole end,
68.
the whole end from the corner
Corner to
all the
corner.
way down to.
Well, it's going down through, what is the last building there?
Last-
1408.
1408 is,
So we
yeah,
go down.
it's just the
12.
first,
Yeah.
probably 5 spots. So there's 3 in the, 3 stores in the first building.
Right.
And
one
then
in
2
the-
littler ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, any other questions about this one? Let's do roll call.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1970, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and Washington Savings Bank Trust 5136, reimbursing up to $17,200 from Midtown TIF revenues over a one-year period for roof replacement and repairs to the building located at 1406 Broadway Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement 07-1-03843-000.
And a second to that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Clausen, and
Same thing.
same thing,
Yeah.
except it's the next property down.
Yep.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1971, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and Washington Savings Bank Trust 5136, reimbursing up to $20,081 from Midtown TIF revenues over a one-year period for roof replacement and repairs to the building located at 1408 Broadway Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement 07-1-03841-000.
Second to that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Butler, and any other comments? Everybody understand this is the third one down? Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2608, approving the contract with Collins Engineering Incorporated in the amount of $41,295 to perform an in-depth inspection and evaluation of the Lake Paradise Dam, and authorizing the city manager to sign the contract.
Need a second on that motion?
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Clausen, and
We had 7 consultants put in for this. We had a group that evaluated them all, and after a lot of discussion, kind of settled on Collins. We did also have some follow-up questions with them that they responded quickly to us on, and we think they're the most qualified to actually look at this.
okay, any other questions?
This has been a long time coming. I know it's been a discussion point with council for a good 10 years, if not longer, but so I'm glad to see this on the agenda and moving forward.
Important. Yes, it's an important thing to do. Roll call.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2609, approving the plans and specifications for the 2025 pavement striping contract, authorizing the solicitation of bids and authorizing the mayor to sign the IDOT material proposal or deliver and install proposal document.
And a second on that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Clausen, and any,
This is our kind of our annual striping program. All over the city, we'll be doing different roads and stuff. One location will be out there on Swords and Remington area. We'll have a patching job that we'll be doing out there later this summer. And then this will be done probably in October.
okay. Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2610, awarding the bids for the 2025 oil and chip program to Earl Walker Company Incorporated for furnished and spread oil bituminous material at $4 per gallon, and Earl Walker Company Incorporated for spread aggregate CA16 at $20 per ton, for a total of $313,160 for seal coating on streets at various locations, and authorizing the mayor to sign the acceptances of proposals to furnish materials and approvals of award. BLR 12330 25-00000-01-GM.
Second to that motion.
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner, was that Phipps? Yep. Commissioner Phipps. And
I'll just say this was approved earlier on to put the plans out for bid, to put those out for bid as a part of our 2025 MFT General Maintenance Program. And this is just mainly for the installation, spreading the oil, putting the chips on it, rolling it in. And then we have another one coming up where the aggregate is a separate contract for hauling it in. Stockpiling.
Okay, so this one does do, it's the final product. It's oiled and chipped. And this is the same kind of one that we did last year and.
Yes.
Okay, I do have a comment about this one. Last time we did this, a lot of roads were torn up after it was oiled and chipped by garbage trucks. They came in and they turned around, maneuvered, and oil and chip got messed up, and it was really kind of a mess. And then I think it's been almost a year, and now they sort of look better. But is there anything we can do about that? Is there any kind of protection? Because the next day they can come in the next day and they mess those roads all up. I mean, can we just say they can come down the middle of the street or down one side and they can drag the trash cans over? I mean, that's what they ought to be doing.
That's what they.
Yeah, our neighborhood got torn up.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there is no reason why they got to maneuver around so much they're saving 2 steps from their truck. I understand that, but they're tearing up the roads.
I don't know, maybe PD force that.
Yeah, I'll follow them.
Mayor, to your point, went home for lunch today and I sent Mr. Boston a picture. We had trash cans lying in Elm Ridge,
Right,
4 different services
right.
that provided service. So we would have 4 different 20,000 pound trucks empty. If they're empty,
Right.
they're not running empty, they're full of
Right.
trash on that road throughout the day. 2 of them go up and down, or go down one side and then they turn around and go down the other side.
Right.
So it is a huge impact on
Yeah.
the roads. Not-
But
something
it's
we can do.
probably, what I'm asking is probably not feasible. You know, maybe the bigger problem, which I want to tackle now, is not have so many trucks go down the road.
Yep.
But, you know, it would be nice if we could figure out
I mean, sure,
how,
by following them all around town and making sure they don't do it. I don't know.
well,
Or how.
Take pictures and send out, like they take pictures of our dumpster to send us, take pictures.
Yeah.
of it.
I think it also has to be a certain temperature or like above a certain temperature to even do it. And so all of it is soft
right, yeah.
while there.
Right.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just a matter of, I mean, probably it does no good to just say to them, some of them are small enough service providers that if you called them and said, hey, this is a concern that we have, can you please take it easy for a while? Don't be doing all this maneuvering. It might help for a while. Now, yeah,
Well,
Send them a letter, whatever. Yeah.
does our ordinance, I think it addresses alleys, right? They cannot, because didn't we have this problem with waste management? They could not go down our alleys.
yeah,
because
because
they
the
would
truck
tear
was
them
so
up.
big, yeah.
Yeah, trucks have
Does that apply to all the trucks or?
They got the biggest trucks.
Yeah.
They're the ones that
I
have
know.
the big, you know,
Others
lifts.
can use the alley, but you know, it's really.
Which has created other
Problems.
issues,
Right,
right?
yes.
Which I think there's more, getting off topic here a little bit, but there's
Well,
an opportunity for us.
I don't want to take up this meeting to discuss this too much, but it's something to think about, but we might try to see if we can come up with a solution and not tear up our roads after we spend how many thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, we had a motion, a second, we had some discussion. Anybody want to make any other comments? Okay, let's do roll call.
Mr. Clausen,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Phipps.
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2611, awarding the bid for the 2025 oil and chip program to Charleston Stone Company for furnished aggregate CA-16 crushed stone at $26.65 a ton for a total of $61,081.80 to furnish the aggregate seal coating on streets at various locations, and authorizing the mayor to sign the acceptance of proposal to furnish materials and approval of award BLR 1233025-00000-01-GM.
May I have a second to that? Commissioner Butler? And any comments?
This
This
is
material.
the other part of it where it's just furnish only to haul it here and cross the snow and stockpile it in our yard.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Butler?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2612, awarding the bid in the amount of $97 per cubic yard for a total of $97,000 from Nico Asphalt Company, Inc. for the MFT General Street Maintenance Ready Mix Contract, HMA Surface CSE 25-00000-02-GM, and authorizing the mayor to sign the acceptance of proposal to furnish materials and approval of award BLR 12330.
And a second?
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps. And
I'll just make a comment that it shouldn't say ready mix concrete, that should be this asphalt, hot mix asphalt, and it's a per ton item. But this is also for the 2025 maintenance, MFT maintenance general contract. And this is an estimated amount that we would need. Hopefully we don't even use that much, but
so, did you get those changes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Roll call?
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Commissioner Butler?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2613, awarding the bid in the amount of $199,100 from Mid-Illinois Concrete, Inc. for Portland cement concrete mixes at various locations as needed, and authorizing the mayor to sign the acceptances of proposals to furnish materials and approvals of award BLR 12330 25-0000003GM.
And any comments on this one?
this is kind of the same thing. It's a material proposal, getting a bid for estimated amount of cubic yards of concrete. There's like 4 different mixes that we have, that we're using, plus the flow belts.
Yeah. Does this concrete area, is it used for those sidewalks that are done jointly by the owner? Probably, or is this, those are always separate?
This is for just for the MFT program.
Okay.
So the other is
Okay.
pocket building.
That's fine. Okay, any other questions? Roll call.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Oh,
I'll second.
sorry.
No, Ken.
Now, anybody have any other questions? Now roll call.
Commissioner Butler?
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen?
Yes.
Commissioner Cox?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
Yes.
Mayor Hall?
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2614, approving the plans and specifications for the fire station number 3 addition and remodeling project, and authorizing the solicitation for bids.
And a second to that one,
Second.
Commissioner Cox. And now, questions or comments on this?
Again, the estimated cost did increase a little bit as Jeff and I worked with them. We made some changes from 3 additions, one on the west, one on the east, one on the north, to 2 additions, one on the west, one on the east. The one on the east is a little bit bigger. With doing so, we tried to go away from a flat roof and go to a sloped roof, which would give a lot longer life of the new roof. So there is some increase in that. I still think it should be a lot cheaper than what the engineer or architect's estimate is. And so we will talk with Andrew. He's gone this week on vacation. When he gets back, and we'll have pre-bid meetings on July 16th, I believe, is the pre-bid meeting. So we can maybe make some comments on that. And if there is any changes, I think we can make those changes in the pre-bid meeting. But if there's some things that we can do to cost savings. But again, we always have the right to reject all the bids if it does come in too high. And we're also kind of waiting on information on the grant that we've applied for. So that's going to play a determination in it as well.
Yeah.
But we would like to go ahead and get this approved and bid out. So we
Yeah,
can keep
so-
moving forward.
So a couple things you said is that we may get these bids, we don't have to select any of them. The lowest bidder, we can even negotiate.
Yes,
If
we
we
can
don't
do
like
it.
it, it's too high. But we really need to know how much, the key thing is if we don't get the grant, probably can't do it now anyway.
Right, we may have,
We ought to wait, and we expect to have that any day. And we can wait a few days, I assume, before we bid it.
Sure.
Okay, so,
Authorizing the bidding process.
Yeah.
Not-
So we do have grant money currently set aside, correct? And we're looking.
we have some money set
It's not
aside,
been awarded.
but we were also counting on a grant.
grant.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we had a motion, a second, and discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2615, authorizing the purchase of one 2025 Ford Explorer Expedition Police Interceptor vehicle in the amount of $50,405, including a trade-in from Pilsen Auto Center.
And a second to that motion.
Second it.
Commissioner Phipps. The second, and any comments on this one?
Not unless there's any questions. It's just a plan budgeted for squad meet base.
Yeah. Roll call.
Commissioner Cox,
I abstain.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Before we go on to comments by the council, there's one thing I'd like to take care of that I think we need to do. We went through the change of the form of government. In the past, we automatically had, or sort of automatically had, a mayor pro tem. That position was always filled by the financial commissioner. We don't do that anymore. We don't assign commissioners to any departments, but we still need a mayor pro tem. So what I want to do is, we don't really have to vote on this, but we ought to have an agreement among ourselves. We don't have to have a motion, I mean, to do this, but we do need to have an understanding how we're going to do this. And I'd like to get opinions and actually agree as to who we select as mayor pro tem. As I said, told how it worked in the past. And another thing about in the past, we always had the mayor pro tem for the full term of all the elected officials. We don't have that, and that was 4 years. Today, number one, we have 2-year terms of people on the council now, and we have 4-year terms. I'm going to make a couple of suggestions, but it's still up to us as a whole. You know, we need to pick someone. Number one, we got to know who's interested. If anybody on the council is interested in being mayor pro tem, they can do that. They fill in for me when I cannot be here for any reason. But we need to have that filled. We need to be ready to go and not have any confusion of who that's going to be. And it's only fair to the person who is mayor pro tem that they know this is their responsibility. So, you know, we could select people based on who's the most senior council member. We could say it's the one that got the most votes. We could say that the one that makes the most meetings. There's a lot of ways we could go about this. But number one, clearly one of the things that is required is who wants to be mayor pro tem. And if there's more than one, that's fine. But we need to know. So I'll just start with Erica. Are you interested in being mayor pro tem?
I am not.
Jim?
I am not, but I do have a question, Mayor. As a mayor pro tem, it is more than just running council meetings,
It could
right?
be.
I mean, if you have to,
Let's say,
a disaster and you have to sign a declaration, I'll just throw an
well,
idea.
let's go a step
Some of the
farther.
other responsibilities
Yeah,
would be what?
because let's say I got really ill and I couldn't be here for a while. Well, the other duty of the mayor is being the liquor commissioner.
Right.
And you may have to sign things. You may have to sign documents to hire taxi cab drivers. You know, there's a couple of things that need to be done. So yes, it's more than just running the meeting, but the mayor needs to be prepared to run the meeting. And so there are a couple things that we need to get. I mean, it's just, we need to get it out of the way.
So just from my knowledge, can I ask previously, prior to this form of government, if I'm wrong, let me know. It was the highest vote getter kind of chose their department and then the next highest vote getter chose their department. Is that how it was previously? And then it was the finance person or
No.
how was it I know that it was the finance person, but how did you choose who was the finance person?
Well, we started, the last time that I remember doing it, there are people that had an idea of what positions they wanted to have. Some of them didn't want certain departments. So it's conceivable that everybody wanted one department and nobody else wanted the others. Like everybody wanted to be the fire commissioners because he is so popular. You know what I mean?
I just wasn't sure, like, does that still come into play?
Yeah. The only reason why, Sam,
The old ordinance did say the finance director is the mayor pro tem.
Yeah.
So once those selections were made, that locked
Yeah.
in.
this,
There wasn't like,
I gotta make up here.
you got the highest vote, so you either choose first.
So-
Second highest vote, you either choose second.
It's
Like,
really up to the council how they want.
Erica, can I say something? I'm gonna get shot in a minute.
oh, shoot.
I didn't want, the mayor was always the police commissioner. So I couldn't use him as an example.
Okay.
I was,
That is true. That was also my ordinance. He was the police.
right, yeah, okay, but yeah, that's basically the way it worked.
Okay.
But there was always some discussion and two people couldn't have the same thing, so it had to be decided. So, all right, let's keep,
Some background to know where.
yeah,
we're
right,
going.
I understand. Dave,
I would.
you would like to be
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps?
I would be willing to, certainly.
You'd be willing to?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have two candidates. Now, what makes you think you're the most qualified?
Well, this is the beginning of my fourth term. Been on council for 12 years. And during that time, you learn a lot about the processes and how to deal with people and the ordinances and decisions that come up. And I think I go about that with a understanding of the things that we do have short and long-term consequences. And I've always looked at this job and particularly, I would be filling in for the mayor. How's this going to affect Mattoon years down the road? Kyle's heard me say this so many times. He's going to smirk here about, what we do here in the short term has a little bit of effect, but what we do here today has a big long-term effect. And I've always kind of based those decisions on that way of thinking. And so it's, I've always been the type of person that comes to work, and I think I've missed, I don't know, maybe 2 meetings, maybe 3, not very many over a 12-year period. I can be reliable to fill in if needed, and you got big shoes to fill, of course, with the job that you've done. But it would be an honor and the next step to assist if I can in that way.
Commissioner Phipps?
I'm just happy to, happy to help and serve whenever I can. Certainly, I think the current ordinance says if let's say you called in sick today or was out sick for today without a mayor pro tem, our city clerk would call a meeting to order, then we would just pick somebody to run that meeting. So, but my availability throughout the week would be certainly a plus. Not that Dave doesn't have that. He's available as well. And my background and my interest in certainly keeping the continuity of the direction that we're going and that we're heading. We've got a lot of projects going on, and like Dave said, it's the long term, and we got to make sure that those continue on.
This is the consensus of the group that we do it for 2 years or 1 year or 4 years? Did you guys, I want to add, well, let's start over here with you. What do you think? Do you think it'd be better to do it for a 1 year, 2 year, 4 year term?
Remaining consistent with how things have been in the past, which is a new form of government, but I think there's some value to doing it for the length of the term of the mayor. Because at some point, there's going to be a little relationship probably building there where
Yeah.
you learn a little bit.
Now, next time when the mayor runs, by the way, he'll be running for a 2-year term. So
So it could be a 2-year term at
at that time.
that time. Right.
Right.
I think I think there's some merit to having it be the term of the.
What do you think? Anyway, you don't
Either
care.
way, it's fine.
How about you? guys?
Whatever's builds continuity with the
Yeah. How about you guys?
business in the city.
I'll just give you all my 2 cents about it.
Okay.
I feel like it should be 4 years. I feel like it should match what the mayor is. And it may not be the most popular opinion, but I feel like it's my objective opinion that I feel like the mayor is a voted on position and it should just be the highest vote getter, whomever that is. And I feel like that's just how it should be in there, I guess, to allow the people something to vote. You know what I mean? Some say,
That's fine.
that's my opinion of it.
I'm good with the, comparing it to the term of the mayor. And I think this council is very, very proactive and works well together. So I don't see any stumbling blocks whichever way we go on this, but.
Okay. Well, it's going to be the 3 of us to make the decision. I assume you guys are going to vote for yourselves, I think.
Oh, I gotta think about that.
So you're really hesitant about doing that? It'd be really, it's not to be voting for each.
Yeah.
You know,
Something I,
Some gloves on them and put them,
some,
what's that?
we're gonna put boxing gloves on them and put them up here in the bed.
No,
something I thought about earlier today, or actually a few days ago, was maybe have a mayor pro tem, but then maybe that mayor pro tem is not available as well, and you could also have a secondary or a backup to that.
We talked a little bit about that. It would, that's possible. You have both people out. You just make a quorum with 3 if you're out, but yeah, that's possible. I don't know that we need to go to that extreme. I think it'd be very rare. Up to you guys. I'm open on that one. Let's, I'm gonna make one other comment before we vote. I think this council is even getting better to work together all the time. I don't think there's gonna be any bad feelings one way or the other. I hope not. I think the culture of this council is as good as I've seen. And I think that, I'd like to think if I was in the position that I was running for mayor pro tem, that I'd be fine either way. So I'm going to ask now, I don't care, Erica, who would you vote for?
Who was the highest vote getter?
To vote for mayor pro tem,
Yes, whoever the highest vote getter was.
the highest vote getter. Do you know who that is?
I think it's Dave.
Which Dave?
Good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim.
I'm going to go with most seniority, so I'm going to go with Commissioner Cox.
Okay. So you put me in a spot, didn't you?
Wait, yeah.
I am also going to go with Commissioner Cox. I think you know, you understand. I mean, I hope you do.
All good.
You okay?
Oh, all good.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we have a mayor pro tem. Thank you very much for the way everybody handled that. I appreciate
For the
that.
process.
And anybody have any comments? Anybody, because this is the comments section for the council. Let's start with Erica.
I do not have any comments. I think that it was a great meeting, great discussion, great input.
I kind of echo what Erica said about the cooperation, both on the Matt Frederick proposal and the mayor pro tem. Just a couple of things. Pickleball is, if you guys get a chance, leagues are developing out at Peterson. There's a lot of people, we're starting to draw some out of towners. And I also think, and I'll leave this up to the city manager, we've had 2 meetings now with complaints about the wake boats and
Yes.
whatever we need to start looking at.
Yeah.
You know, maybe something that we implement at the beginning of next year.
Yes.
But what I've heard is our lake is a 1,000-acre lake and an average depth of 10 foot. And now we're not only public safety, but erosion problems. So I think that's definitely, you need to.
Good point.
This weekend too. There.
Yep.
Commissioner Phipps, any comments you got? Yeah.
I'm done. Thank you.
Commissioner Phipps, any comments?
All good. I appreciate the dialogue.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate the dialogue as well. I don't recall a council meeting where there was that kind of dialogue between neighbors, essentially, and that was very, very positive. And that goes along with the communication here with council. I appreciate all the comments and the perspective, and appreciate the opportunity to serve.
I think the meeting went well tonight. I will give you a couple bits of information though that maybe you didn't know. I do attend the Emerald Acres, meetings, board meetings, and it was reported today in the board meeting. This is not any secret. I'm not telling you something you shouldn't know. I think you should know it. But 4 months out of next year are completely filled at this point. All fields, indoor facilities also. Very unusual that we get that many at this point. We are selling bonds 2 weeks, literally from.
Next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, the 8th.
Okay. Yeah, our bonds will sell for phase 2. The numbers are coming out very well financially with all the new stores we've got, the commitments with the hotels we've got. That all is coming out. We don't know what the bond rates are going to be right now. We think it's going to be 5.5% or 6%. It's going to come in. We did delay the process a little bit, but that only helped us get more proposals for bids on bonds. So that all is going as well as it could be. So that's very good.
The pricing's next Tuesday. Closing is Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Is there any of that information that the Emerald Acres board is putting out, or does it?
It will get, so everybody know, I don't vote. I'm an invited guest of the board. They have excused me sometimes if they talk about salary or something that I don't need to be in here or anything like that. But, so just so you know, I don't vote on any of those things. But that's good, that kind of information needs to get out.
It really does, because I think there's some, now, look, there's some doubt. Let's just say there's some doubt if it's doing as well as they want.
Yeah.
Can I also add, and I agree that the good information out there in the world is going to help people believe it's really happening. But also from a planning process, if we're not getting that information from our end, from a tourism, our standpoint, obviously there's other groups too. It helps us know what to do with it.
Okay.
If we know, I hope one of those full months isn't July. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm going to have to adjust.
And I don't know what months they are.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to require some pivoting. I'm great with that. I just need that information.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I know their June is
Yes.
booked up, which is also booked up for our youth tournaments usually, so.
I just want to be working together instead of,
Yeah.
that way.
I could pass those words, both of those requests on to the board.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Anybody else, got any comments? Anybody like to do anything else tonight? What?
Yeah, the motion for ice cream. I'll make a motion to adjourn, so.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Can we have a second?
I'll second it, Mayor.
All right. And roll call.
Mr. Phipps,
Yes.
Mr. Butler,
Nope.
Mr. Clausen,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I don't need that.
That's not certainly bad.
So,
1 second, this is not.
Give less than it makes you vote. I need to figure out how to.
might be something.